Stay with you, I don't go forget you. No matter where you come from, we go there like one tribe. Yeah. No need to worry, agree. I go there by your side. Till the world hears your voice. Till you take over the world. I go carry your matter for head, yo. I go there by your side. When you look at me, I go carry your matter for head, yo. I go there by your side. Kemi Sola, thank you for connecting. Ben, welcome. Let's just enjoy this music for some time. Oh, I go there by your side. Trust you had a lovely day. I go carry your matter for head, yo. I go there by your side. I always feel pumped up for action anytime I start the intentional parenting chat show with that music, because for me that is what parenting is all about, where we carry the matter of our children's head on our head till they take over the world, till they become the best of versions of themselves, till they realize their potentials and go ahead, you know what, to be a blessing to humanity. Thank you everyone for connecting with me this evening, and I trust that you had a wonderful day. Okay, yesterday we started our discussion on involving our children in making decisions that concern them, and today we couldn't complete it yesterday because of the network, so we'll just continue with that. What is your thoughts about it? Should parents involve their children in decision making? Some people shared their thoughts. Nwabeze said that for him, he thinks it depends on the issue that is being discussed and the age of the children. So what are your thoughts? Should parents involve their children in decision making? I was speaking with a man recently, and he was telling me, he was so proud of his actions. Okay, his son had gone to get a haircut. In his own words, he said he gave his son his own hard-earned money to go get a haircut. And this was a boy who was in the university. As at the time, he was saying that the son was 24 years old, okay? So he was a university student, and his father gave him money to go have a haircut. And this young boy went and cut the punk hairstyle, okay? So the father was relating the story to me, and he told me that when he saw the boy with the haircut, he didn't say anything. About 2 weeks later, it was time for the boy to go back to school. And so he had written out his list of things, and when he presented it to his father refused to give him money for his school items and for his school fees, because as far as the father was concerned, if he was old enough to decide the kind of haircut he would have, then he was old enough to foot his bills. So what are your thoughts concerning that? Yes, we agree, there's punishment, there's discipline, but do you think that was appropriate discipline for a child that did that? And what is your thoughts about parents involving their children in decision making? That is what we are discussing tonight on the show. Kolade Olusheyi, thank you for being here. Fumilayo, Tony Aspire, Chini Nwobi, Chinayende Nwobi, I'm glad to have you all. And so what are your thoughts? For me, involving parenting, it's beyond just making decisions for our children. When we involve our children in decision making, we're actually teaching them leadership skills. We're actually teaching them what things to consider, factors to consider, what to do, and how to take decisions. Because I believe in that school of thought that we are parents from when our children are from 0 to 18 years. Yes, we will remain in their lives forever. We will continue to be their father and mother. But the active work of parenting, for me, happens when the children are between 0 to 18 years. All right. So after that, we are supposed to let them, take on the world explore the world, and be able to take decisions for themselves. But while they were under our care, how do we want them to know how to take decisions if we never taught them? How do we want them to be able to know what to consider and how to make the best of decisions if we never let them? If we always have to make decisions for them, how will they learn? All right. So these days we see a lot of people, a lot of adults who don't have good negotiation skills. We see a lot of adults who don't have people skills, adults who don't have social skills, adults who cannot handle conflict and and the likes of that. But they were not taught as children. All right. Recently, we've had cases of spousal abuses, people who were angered by their spouses, and they thought that the solution to it was to end their spouse's life. These are people who do not have good anger management skills. Perhaps they had issues with their spouses, but they didn't have good conflict resolution skills. And it starts from upbringing, because as parents, we are the first exposure to teach our children these things. So if you look at involving your children in decision making from the angle of nurturing the leader in them, then we will begin to involve them in decision making that affects them such that they will learn. I shared this somewhere and someone told me, what if I allow him make decisions, I involve him in the decision making, and he makes a bad decision that has bad consequences? What am I going to do? Am I not going to take responsibility for that? The seriousness of the decisions that will allow our children make will vary from age to age. So some as simple as allowing them pick out the clothes they wear. I've seen parents who beat their children because the children refuse to wear a certain item of clothing that the mother picked out for them. If we want to make decisions for our children, even from the age of 4, 5, 6 to everything down to the piece of clothing they would wear, are we trying to clone them to become more like us, or we're allowing them exhibit their own individuality and try to do things their way? Part of the things we do is that if we're started earlier to imbibe culture in them, to imbibe family values in them, then the child would make his decisions around those values. So it's not just for you, hey, Junior, you're wearing a blue shirt today with a white. No, let the child understand the perception you have of him. It will also affect his sense of dressing. Then you offer guidance. Then as the child grows into teenagehood, you increase the seriousness of the decisions that you would consult them to take. Because if they do not nurture their leadership skills at home, they may not be, you just join them into the world and they will not be able to nurture it. So involving them in decision making helps to grow their leadership skills. It helps to grow how they, think things through and be able to achieve a solution. Sometimes their decisions might backfire. Sometimes their decisions might go the wrong way. But you know what? We need to begin to let our children learn how to fail. Let failure not be something that is unheard of in your home. Make failure a part of life. Teach your children that it is good to fail. There are certain times that my children take a decision, and with the maturity I have and with a broader perspective to life, I see that this decision may not, result in the outcome that they want. I don't interfere. I've checked the seriousness of the consequences of the decision. It's not going to cause any bodily harm. It's not going to cause any much damage. But I just wanted to use it as a learning point for them to learn that, some decisions can go bad. As a parent, you should also be able to allow your children fail so that they will learn from it. Because in life, when they go out in life, nobody shields them from decisions that will fail. Nobody shields them from making decisions. So if you do not allow them use your home as a testing ground, if they do not begin to learn how to make decisions from home, then you're going to throw them out there into the wild, and nobody is really interested in giving them that guidance from home. So rather than shield our children from taking decisions or involving them in decision making, let us teach them how to take decisions. Okay, instead of shielding them from taking decisions or involving them in decision making, it is best as an intentional parent to teach them how to take decisions. In the ABC of Intentional Parenting, which is a book I'm currently co-authoring with my husband, is actually a guide for every parent to know how to love, lead, and influence their children with ease. The letter I there stands for involve the children in decision making. And I've shared with you some of the reasons why we should involve them. Let's look at how we can teach them how to make decisions so that they grow in it and they take it to adulthood and they are good managers, good decision makers, and good leaders. First of all, you have to teach them to define their decision. Whatever decision they are making, what is the motive of that decision? Their children should be able to understand as they grow under your tutelage and guidance that for every decision they take, there should be a motive, and that motive should be something that it's in support of your family vision and your family ideology. You should also teach your child to understand that every decision has consequences. So when they're taking the decision, they should keep in view the consequences of such decisions. Then, secondly, teach your children never to be at a point where they do not have options. They should teach them how to take decisions, but yet keep options available. It is dangerous for someone to have no options at all, such that if one decision fails, there's another backup that they will fall to. So let them have options. Say, for example, it's about picking a cloth. So would they have options that in case, if it's the blue jeans he wants to wear, is either he wears it with a red top or the white top or whatever. But whatever decision your child is taking, guide the child to understand that they should have options and be able to review the options vis-a-vis your family values, your family culture, and your family ideology. Then number 3 is that the decisions they are making, they should review it under boundaries. What are the boundaries that your family does not want to go beyond? What are the morals of that decision? What are the values? Like I said earlier, it has to be in line with your family values and the morals that your family wants to be known for. Then, if it's in a time when they're making this decision, teach them that they should learn to seek counsel. So if your child is taking a decision, he should learn how to reach out to you as a parent for advice, for counsel, and they should be open to ideas. Every child that is growing should understand that nobody is an island of knowledge. So if your child, for instance, wants to take a decision, let the child be open to ideas. If it's a child that has siblings, can the child learn to relate with the siblings and glean ideas from the siblings, from you, the parents, from the internet, from whatever sources where they can get empowering information, educative and informative information that can help in their decision making. Then teach your children to look at the personal and what I call the generational consequences. Okay? Every child should be made to, as a parent, you should make your child to understand that whatever decisions they take does not only affect them. It affects them, it affects their siblings, it affects their families. When you teach them that, you're teaching them responsibility. You're teaching them leadership. You're teaching them ability to, critical thinking, to think processes through and see what will the outcome of this decision make for us. So teach your child that every decision they make has both family and personal consequences. And then they should learn how to not to make decisions in a rush. They should take their time to process the decisions they want to take before they make it. So these are some of the tips you can share with your children as you get them involved in decision making. So finally, yes, we should involve our children in decision making. The decisions, the gravity and seriousness of the decisions that we leave for them to make depends on the severity of the consequences and the age of the child. As the child grows, we should be loose and accommodate them and involve them in decision making, because every adult out there who is misbehaving, every adult out there who does not have good leadership skills, every adult out there who does not know how to resolve conflicts amicably, every adult out there who is struggling with anger issues, every adult out there who doesn't have people skills, who doesn't have social skills, was once a child. Okay, and so if we begin from home to teach our children these things, we are preparing them for the future, we are helping them nurture their greatness, and we are launching them out into life itself, where no one is going to teach them all those things except they learn from experiences, and sometimes the experiences are bitter experiences. So yes, that is the intentional parenting chat tonight. I hope you learned something about how to involve your children in decision making, and some of the tips you can use to teach your children how to make decisions. Remember, it will not pay our generation, it will not pay your family, it will not even do your child any good if you shield him away from taking decisions. Rather, teach him how to take decisions, involve him in decision making, and let him learn from the mistakes. Do not protect your children from making mistakes. Mistakes are part of life. Mistakes are lessons. Mistakes are feedback. So allow your children take decisions. As they make the mistakes, you correct them, you instruct them, you guide them, and daily, as they interact with decision making, they become better leaders and the future of our nation. So this is Dinma saying thank you for connecting with me on Intentional Parenting Chat. Remember, this show is all about giving us tips and guidance on how to love, lead, and influence our children with ease. I dropped my email address on this post. So if you have any parenting challenges, if you have any questions you would like to ask me, please send it to my email. The email is right there, and I will treat it on the show. And if it is personalized questions that you do not want to be addressed in the show, please let me know and I'll get back to you. Thank you once more for being here with me, and have a lovely evening.